how do you give your kids the freedom to make financial decisions and do so in a controlled setting? And can technology help? To help us answer those questions, we have Paul Mitchell, co-founder, John Paul DeJoria, on the set. His debut on the News Hub. Very successful entrepreneur. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So before we get onto the technology and how it can help with financial literacy and things, isn't the basis of everything in learning about how to budget, it's the value of a buck?
The value of a buck. I know when I grew up, and maybe when you grew up, if we ran out of money, we had our $3 allowance or whatever allowance we had, we wanted extra money, we went out there and sold Coke bottles, picked them up and took them to the local
Absolutely,
store.
I did that. I would scour the house, scour the bins.
Yeah, it teaches the value. Today, a lot of kids don't know the value of a dollar, and they don't have the luxury, the parent at the same time, of being able to control it and see where it's going. So it's a combination of the two. More important, the child understands what the value of that dollar is and how to spend their money properly and not overspend. And that's what Oink is all about.
So, Oink, and you've got an Oink card here. It's about giving people, your kids, money through the card.
Yes.
But why is that better than just saying, here is your $10? We've had a bit of inflation since you and I were kids.
Here's your $10. That doesn't go far.
here's your $10, and it's in 10 ones. Do what you will. You make your own decisions. You make your own mistakes.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
difference,
that?
Because here's where the luxury goes in and the safety of that luxury. That child could take, or teenager, that money, or college student, and buy whatever they want with it. You have no idea. When they buy it through their Oink card, and just go to oink.com to sign up for it, you know exactly what they bought, you know exactly where they're buying it from, and you can put controls on it. For example, you're a 13-year-old. You can't buy anything in this category that isn't appropriate for a 13-year-old. You're 16 years old, you're driving. We can only allocate so much money on this card to gasoline, so much to clothes. You've got a problem now with buying music, for example. Well, we're going to adjust it here that you only have so much money on this card to buy music with. The parent at the same time knows exactly what they're spending.
And I can see the limits on that, sort of not buying booze, not buying cigarettes, things like that, if you're too young for that. But what about the ability to make mistakes? Is that, hey, you haven't got any money left because you spend it all on chocolate cake.
That is correct.
Tough.
That is correct.
Can't you say tough?
It is tough. But you're right. You can't say tough. You spend it all. But there's a backup for an emergency. If the child needs to get home, needs a cab or something emergency, the parent can instantly put it on to the card. Instantly like that. So
they don't just say walk. You don't just say walk. You just say, hey,
well,
you can't get home. Walk. Walk home. Yeah.
Well, in New York City, you can say walk, but in the middle of Nebraska, it's kind of hard to walk.
It is. But the distances are absolutely enormous.
What's great is it gives you that flexibility. You talked about Apple earlier.
Yeah.
I believe they have
the Apple Pay system.
Yeah, they have 250,000, they say, spots right now. Oink has 25 million. Anywhere Discovery card is, they'll take Oink.
Okay, so you can put the money on there. Is there a fee for this for parents? I mean,
almost nothing. It's $10 a year.
Okay, so that's really. And why did you get into this? Because Paul, this is very different from Paul Mitchell, which you co-founded, which is a great gig to have done.
That's a very good question. Paul Mitchell's the best in hair care. Patron, of course, is the best in tequila. We wanted the best to have affordable luxury in all of our products, but here it's affordable safety for a child. I have children, I have grandchildren. I have 6 children, 10 grandchildren. And I wish my son had this 3-4 years ago, because as you say, you give kids money, they spend it wherever they want, and they can spend it on things they shouldn't spend it on. This controls it, lets us know where it's at all times, what they're spending. In an emergency, we give more, because he's always saying, can I have $20 for an emergency? Well, that $20 is gone, emergency always pops up.
Of course, and an emergency isn't chocolate cake.
No, it's not.
I love it. Thank you very much.
Oink.com.
Oink.com, John Paul